going live.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all of you from the Dubai Expo right here in Dubai at the Pavilion building in Malaysia. My name is Ben Ibrahim and it's a pleasure to be your master of ceremonies and moderator for this week. Today is day 4 of Dubai Expo 2020 for the Malaysian Pavilion. And very shortly, we are going to have our first keynote for today. The topic is collaboration, the key to the new normal. Our speaker for this very interesting topic is Encik Jaffri Ibrahim. Let me just tell you a little bit about Mr. Jaffri or Jaffri. Jaffri is the founder and CEO of CREST, which stands for Collaborative Research in New Engineering, Science and Technology. Jaffri began his career as an entrepreneur that built an information service in the Klang Valley in 1986. He later joined Oracle Corporation Malaysia in 1990 as a consultant in the professional services organization. He then started his own technology consulting business in 1994, focusing on the oil and gas sector. Prior to joining CREST, he was the Vice President of Business and Technology Advisory Division of Malaysia Debt Ventures, also known as MDV Berhad, a venture debt company under the Ministry of Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in very, very good company. It now gives me great pleasure to welcome to the rostrum right here at the Pavilion Building, or the Malaysia Pavilion Building, right here at the Dubai Expo 2020, Mr. Jaffri Ibrahim. A round of applause, please, for the physical floor.
Thank you. And very good morning to everyone. My name is Jaffri and I'm the CEO, as Ben mentioned. And in this keynote address, we will explore the nuances of collaboration and what it means to the companies, academia, government, and to the business community, the ecosystem. So why is collaboration key in our post-pandemic world, and why we need the public-private partnerships more than ever before. So this session is also to set the tone for the next panel discussion that comes right after this, where the panel speakers from academia and industry will deep dive into the challenges around collaboration, what it takes to build solid partnerships, share insights on successful strategies for cross-border alliances, and the shared values of the inter-country collaboration. Okay, so so before I get into that, let me introduce to you my organization, CREST. So as Ben mentioned, it is Collaborative Research in Engineering, Science and Technology. It is a not-for-profit organization initiated by the industry. So like the name suggests, we are a platform for collaboration since inception in 2011. Just to give you some background, Malaysia has had a rich history with the electronics industry, dating all the way back to the 70s. Well-known companies such as Intel, AMD, Osram set up their manufacturing sites in Penang, which is the northern part of Malaysia. So these companies grew from strength to strength. However, the companies nor the academia has much collaborated with each other. It's pretty much based out of relationships rather than a structured way of collaborating. So realizing this, the captains of the industry from the electronics industry went to the Malaysian government, and they asked to do a JV, a joint venture between government, industry, and academia to set up a catalyst organization called CREST. Okay. Oops. So we do 3 things at CREST. We do collaborative R&D, we do talent development, and commercialization facilitation. So when we first started, we organized a lot of retreats, think tanks, discussions, brainstorming. And in the beginning, the stakeholders decided that CREST should pursue developing 3 big areas in the electronics industry. And the first one was LED, The second one was IC design, and the third one was the IoT, or embedded systems as well. So we did that for a number of years, and it was producing some outcomes, some good success. And in the next retreat that we had, we reported back the results, the captains in industry and all the stakeholders decided, let's expand on that. Let's go and develop further and get into advanced materials, Industry 4.0, and drones and autonomous vehicles. So those are what we call the clusters that we try to develop. It's not limited to it, but at least it gives us the focal point for the committee to look at. And as we get to 2015, we decided to go even further, a deep dive into what we call the deep tech areas. And we found opportunities to go deep into gallium nitride research. So we basically focused on GAN, and we developed a 6-year program around that. And we also have a program around digital healthcare and Industry 4.0. So just a quick glimpse at some of our accomplishments since we started in 2012. Today, we have around 162 collaborative R&D projects that we've approved. About half of that has been completed. And we've collaborated with around more than 100 companies and 25 universities, and about 60% of those companies that we got in R&D are local companies. The rest of them are multinationals. We've also been utilizing the local funding, and although it was started to be a 50-50 arrangement, we found that the industry were more keen and contributed more than what they were required to. So it was a 64% contribution by the industry and 36% from our grants, which was pretty much the government funds. Out of the journey that we've had so far, we've basically developed around 9,000 deep tech talent network of industry domain experts and academic researchers. So that's a nice pool of talent that people can go to develop new ideas and to develop or to innovate from. And then we've got something called cluster development. And one of the key outcomes from our cluster development is the GAN program. This is where we've managed to attract some of the best minds in the world. In fact, the founder of Blue LED is Professor Suji Nakamura. And we approached him for a collaboration, and he is part of the journey. So if you stick around to the next session, we will get a little bit deeper into what happened over that 6-year journey. But some of the good outcomes that we've gotten from this program is that we've got our own patents to develop the next generation LED. We've got epitaxy research engineers. We've got our own recipe for commercial grade LED. And we've got, very importantly, we've got some world-class labs in 2 of our universities in Malaysia. Okay, why that is important is it becomes a gateway to billion-dollar opportunities in the deep tech area. Okay, and because of that, we've basically managed to attract some investments into the country. So one very key investment is when Osram expanded their operation in Malaysia by building a 1 billion euro plant in Kulim, Malaysia. And basically, when we calculated in terms of the investment versus the returns, we've got an 11 times multiplier, not just with the GAN program, but also we found from the R&D as well. And we've also got a very good record of commercializing our R&D. So as of today, with the 80-odd projects that we've completed, 27% of them are commercialized and is hitting into the marketplace. So it's not there. Can you go to the next? Okay, so collaboration is the key to the new normal. So the COVID-19 outbreak has sent economies into a tailspin, creating havoc in our healthcare systems, disrupted the supply chain, and dampened consumer spending. So while these volatile times have put the industries and nations through a stress test, the silver lining lies in the emergence of opportunities for new ways of thinking and doing things. So this includes finding new strategies to revitalize, restructure, and rebuild towards a more suitable future and more sustainable future. So on one hand, business leaders have to deal with disruptions and economic uncertainties. But on the other hand, it is also clear that the reaction of the global economy at all levels was way much faster. Okay, so at the center of the wave of change powering the transformation is a meta skill for creating partnerships and collaborating within the context of the ecosystem. So because of the way they were created, partnerships created within these new ecosystems are far more adaptive and productive than those that they replaced. So today, effective partnerships and collaboration are founded on each participant valuing the other for their inherent value and seeking coexistence in holistic and adaptive ways. So the lesson learned here is this: to effectively manage partnerships and form collaboration, it is imperative that organizations know what they can bring to the table, the types of skills that they can provide, what skills they can leverage from partners, and how the collaboration will be supported by people and technology to drive action and change. Can you go to the next one? Okay, so why is collaboration more important than ever? The global fight against the COVID-19 has illustrated the essential role that collaboration plays in tackling complex global challenges. We have seen researchers collaborate across diverse fields to address the direct and indirect effects of the crisis. So universities have combined expertise across borders, and healthcare providers working side by side with industry partners and academia, backed by the support of public institutions. So when emerging from the pandemic, collaboration will remain at the forefront of recovery for many nations. So this means that government will all over will have to forge multi-sectoral collaboration towards a safe, resilient, and inclusive recovery, where businesses can thrive and where no one is left behind. Whilst these volatile times have put the nations through a stress test, the silver lining lies in the emergence of opportunities for the new ways of thinking and doing things. So this includes finding new strategies to revitalize, restructure, and rebuild towards a sustainable future. So as countries and communities slowly emerge from the COVID-19 crisis, many are looking to build more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable economies. So governments need to rebuild sustainable economies by creating equal opportunities for all. The vision for an inclusive and sustainable economy is for thriving communities and healthy people, healthy and communities and health and sustainable places, and increase productivity and shared prosperity. So governments can also build citizens' trust by encouraging collaboration between a wide range of organizations, including local and combined authorities, local and international enterprise partnerships, sustainable and transformation partnerships, and integrated care systems, schools, colleges, and academic organizations, social enterprises, and local businesses. So therefore, it is time to ensure that innovation, shared visions, and more formally integrated ways of partnering for success are locked in place. So at CREST, we believe in the spirit of collaboration. It is through collaboration with the industry, academia, government, and the wider research community that we are able to create solutions that impact the community, ecosystem, and nation. So whilst CREST is industry-led, our member representation is the triple helix that includes industry, academia, and government. So our collaborative model has been proven to be effective for the electronics industry in Malaysia. And our role is far-reaching across geographies and classes of stakeholders within and across multiple industries. So we believe that our collaborative model is replicable across multiple industries, with this being evident in our efforts to champion research and innovation in healthcare, smart cities, precision agriculture, and smart manufacturing, just to name a few. So let me go through two case studies just to show you how we have enabled rapid innovation and helped the creation of solutions for industries. Okay, so the GAN-on-GAN program, as we touched earlier, we started the GAN-on-GAN program in 2014 when Professor Nakamura was in Penang to present his paper in a conference. So we approached him for collaboration, and he came back with a one-page proposal of what he thought was possible at that time. So we obviously counter-proposed, and today we have 70 epitaxy researchers, 15 visiting researchers trained by Professor Nakamura and his team. We've attained 10 patents and IPs, including our very own recipe to grow LED crystals. We also accomplished the establishment of world-class gallium nitride labs that can now be our window to billion-dollar deep tech opportunities. So with two labs that mirror Professor Nakamura's lab at UCSB and more than 70 local experts, it has been attributed to attract billion-dollar investments, as I mentioned earlier, right? So according to the trade agency Matre, while we have been in the LED industry since the 70s, the baseline export value of LED has doubled from 400 million USD to 800 million USD since 2017. So it's a vast improvement for the LED industry. Another example is digital healthcare. So CREST's digital healthcare cluster was formed to focus on the application of wearable embedded systems, Internet of Medical Things, implantable medical devices, and connected devices technology, and the successful commercialization of healthcare products, solutions, and services by the electronics industry. So the cluster drives digital healthcare innovations like the STETI, as you see in the picture, a little IoT device that connects to your smart devices, and it is also FDA approved. Dr. Naya today will manufacture all the STETIs out of Penang for the global market, but we're also collaborating at many different levels. So we've also got immersive technologies for health and wellness, mobile sensors for health monitoring, and other Malaysian-based innovations. So we spearhead affordable, accessible healthcare innovations by initiating strategic collaboration with industry, academia, government organizations to innovate digital healthcare solutions. So nurturing a conducive ecosystem through collaborative partnerships with multiple stakeholders like industry, academia, civil society, and government. So, and we encourage application of new technologies, the likes of AI and data analytics, to improve efficiency and productivity, and to encourage knowledge transfer to local research communities. So growing and nurturing competent talent to foster a culture that embraces innovation. So finally, some key takeaways. Okay, so collaboration will remain at the forefront of recovery for many nations. To effectively recover post-pandemic, organizations will need to innovate, collaborate, invent, and redefine themselves. So the centerpiece to promote recovery and quality growth during hard times is to drive innovation. History has taught us that spending on innovation must be sustained through tough times in order to better compete when recovery resurfaces. In the new normal, organizations are finding that they need to reorientate and reinvent their products and their services and communications to fit the COVID-19 landscape. So as we look forward to a climate beyond the pandemic, what is certain is that there will be a lasting mark on user behavior. But while the crisis has the potential to reveal organization vulnerabilities, it also highlights clear opportunities for improvement and re-evaluations. Though redefining themselves, organizations will then be able to exit this period stronger and with a renewed understanding of user behaviors that have empowered a level of reinvention that has never been had before. So today's business models are more dependent than ever on complex cross-collaboration for business innovation, and the future will likely be won by those who don't wait for light bulb moments from a single genius, but rather by those who develop highly collaborative win-win relationships that leverages on the power of many. So with this, I conclude my keynote session for today to make way for the next session, whereby we have a panel of experts from academia and industry who will further elaborate on the value of collaboration, what it takes to establish strong, sustainable partnerships, as well as share insights of successful strategies for cross-border alliances and the shared value of inter-country collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jaffri. A big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen. An interesting topic indeed, and not many people can simplify that, Jaffri, and you just simplified it very nicely, not just oratory, but graphically as well for your presentation, and we thank you very, very much for that. Just to heads up, everybody, Jaffri is going to be a very, very busy man today, just like he said. He's giving his keynote, which has just been completed. And then not long after this, he will be moderating a session. And then he's going to have a short lunch break. And then he's going to come back as a subject matter expert before we close today. So we are really, really leveraging on Jaffri's expertise, not just for the previous topic that he just spoken about, but for the next topic, which is about transcending borders, breaking down barriers to collaboration. At the end of the day, startup, entrepreneurship, business, it's all about the people-to-people dynamic. We talk about revenue streams, we talk about cash cows, we talk about P&L, but where does it all link back to? It links back to people and collaboration. And that's what a lot of the sessions today will be all about. And we want you to be involved in it, not just people who are here physically at the Pavilion building in Dubai, but many, many viewers who have joined us virtually from all around the world, not just in Malaysia. So as I've always been saying this week, please leave your opinions, leave your questions, and we will try to highlight those opinions and questions during our sessions. a little bit later today and tomorrow as well. You have been a fantastic audience, by the way. We've seen a lot of the comments, a lot of the support that you've given this event, and it has been very, very positive. And once something is positive, the ecosystem can move forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you on behalf of all of us at Dubai Expo 2020. Please let it continue forever and ever. So, we're just going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to come back with Encik Jaffri and his panel of experts to speak about the topic, which is about transcending borders, breaking down barriers to that magical C word, collaboration. Don't go away. Dubai Expo 2020.